pressing issue is more with everything else. How was the first thing on your stream is an ad? This is wild, bro. I saw y'all boot up, and I saw McDonald's.
I gotta get sponsored. I gotta get the money. Otherwise, I'm not gonna be able to get this Switch 2 or any of the games.
Man, shut up.
It's expensive out here.
We ain't doing this. Also, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. As Tyrone is now live, but you might be sitting through ad unless you subscribe to the channel.
Exactly. I broke down. I told them, this bitch comes out in 2 months. I asked for a donation. For the first time ever.
That's crazy.
I said, chat, I need the money.
And hey, listen, guys, and just so you guys know.
Don't do it.
So you guys are
Don't
aware,
do it.
Tyrone has more than
why would you
money.
do that?
Tyrone,
why would you open your mouth?
Tyrone, you have more than enough money.
He's lying, ladies and gentlemen. He's lying.
Ask him, y'all in the chat, ask him to show you his phone.
He's like, why would you do that? Why would I do that in public?
Ask to see his phone.
What the fuck is wrong with you?
Ask him to see his phone.
But no.
Nah, man.
No. No. I use a phone with a handle and a receiver on it, and it's got a coil wire that goes.
Oh my god!
It's a rotary phone. You gotta click on one button and spin the shit around. It's a circle.
Jesus Christ!
So
for those who may not understand what we're doing, it's literally just a main discussion off of the stuff from pretty much post-direct conversation.
Right.
We have 2 days of gameplay footage. Apparently certain outlets have gotten their hands on certain games. There's been some more information released on various aspects of the console and the controllers and pricing and all that other fun stuff. And then obviously we have this recent news from the day about how they delayed the pre-orders for the US only, because apparently Britain and them still have their pre-order dates the same. But for the US specifically, our pre-order dates have been delayed due to tariffs, which is funny considering people thought the pricing for the game, the console and the games was due to tariffs. Nah, this is pre-tariffs. So
pre-tariffs.
We'll see.
So what's the new date we can pre-order?
We don't have a date. It's been delayed in the US.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, we have no date.
Oh my god.
I figured you'd be happy about this because now you're not required to spend money immediately.
I don't care about that part. I want it because I know the scalpers are gonna come.
I mean, yeah, but don't worry. That means the British is gonna take the brunt of that now.
Oh my god.
Or they'll go to Japan and buy that region lock version.
This whole Switch thing's been a disaster. What is happening?
Okay, so I guess the first thing is, and also in chat, let me know if you can hear Tyrone. You should be able to, but you know, my life is hard sometimes. So.
Right.
Just so you guys, just double checking with you guys in chat. You can hear me talking to somebody.
What volume?
Last time.
Also, what volume do you have me on Discord?
On Discord. Let me see.
Like right click it.
Hold on. I was posting stuff in my server. You are at 100.
Yeah, crank me up to about 120.
Why is it that?
Because I know on your end, like from Mario Brothers ship, yeah, I'm a little lower.
Oh, that's because I have you low on my mixer.
Okay.
I can just jack up the mixer volume.
All right, sounds good then. Yeah.
Okay, alternative. You can hear him. Okay, cool. All right, we're
cool.
Gucci.
All right, good.
I'll turn him up a little bit.
See, I got.
So, I think the best way to handle this first is general impressions of the console, and this goes for you guys too in chat to give your general impressions of the console. All right, because I don't think your audience may not have heard from me, and vice versa.
Yeah.
So I figured I'd let you go first. Well, like as of right now, how do you feel about the console?
Funny? I just went on your stream. Guess what shirt we're both wearing?
N64.
We're both wearing the N64 shirts we have. I'm wearing the one that's like the blue, the light blue, yellow, and pink one. You're wearing like the fucking the actual logoed one.
Yeah, like I went for the original logo, although I need to get another one because the colors are fading on this.
I have the one that was recent, the more recent one.
Yeah, of
But
course.
yeah, that's crazy. Actually, what's up, Matt? What's up, Robzo?
Also, Goki, I'm only late by my own standards, but I'm also more consistently here. So hey,
That's
don't worry about it,
crazy.
Goki. Don't worry about
Don't
it.
worry
But
about it.
no, but
But
no.
go back to the
Give
question
your
again.
well, essentially, what is your current opinion on the Switch? Like, not nothing too specific, but just general opinions on like how the console is,
Yeah.
what it can do, games. I mean, that
I mean,
stuff.
weirdly, on a technical aspect, I'm impressed by a lot of things, like the ventilation thing. That was a big problem. They didn't. I wish they had at least mentioned the stick drift. I feel like they need to mention it. Come on, that's a big thing to not talk about, right? Like that's a big thing to not talk about, and the fact that they didn't talk about it, which means hopefully they fixed it. But at the same time, I kind of wish they had given us confirmation that they fixed it. Something to be like, we've enhanced the analog sticks more so they won't drift or something. Something to just give me some validation. Like, please tell me y'all did something about it. But they did address the memory thing. I think it's what, 256 gigs?
Yeah,
Yeah,
256.
way better than 32. I rolls with that. That's cool. All right, cool. Only accepting micro SD. That's okay.
The express
Micro
one, the express
Express
cards. Yeah.
SD. Yeah. To me, that's only a problem if you're a parent that doesn't know much about tech. Um,
Well, they'll
but
probably do what they did with the Switch and have Nintendo branded
branded
like
ones,
SD
yeah,
cards.
yeah, to blatantly be like, this is for your Switch too.
Yeah.
The Joy-Con being a mouse is pretty fun and interesting. I want to see what they do with that. I mean, honestly, like I was hyped about it when I was in the direct. Now I think the hype is very much starting to simmer down a little bit. I mean, I like that it's running more powerful games. That's good. But sadly, when it comes to Nintendo, that just means it caught up to everybody else. Because a lot of those third party games they're showing off, I'm like, oh, okay, those are games that were on PlayStation and Xbox. The Nintendo can run those now. Good for it. Good for you, Nintendo. You caught up to the rest of us. Not really caring about the chat button at all. I now after talking with you before on chat, I get
Hmm.
it. Like it's good for the ones that aren't for they not like us. It's good for the ones that are casual that aren't doing Discord calls or on streams or stuff. Realistically, if you're a hardcore gamer and you're playing Nintendo, you're not gonna use this button at all. It's gonna collect dust. But other than like, I'm liking it. I like the enhanced Switch too. I like the Nintendo features that come with it, like having the GameCube and stuff. That's gonna be fun. Very much looking forward to it. Let's just hope that they don't have any like big technical errors. That's it.
So I guess to give my thoughts, I'm in a pretty similar boat. I thought 450 was a fine price considering I probably would have been more angry about 450 if it hadn't have done as much as it had. But
Yeah,
it did, so I don't really have any issues. I was very surprised to see it even have a display that covers 120 frames, period.
yeah.
I was like, hey, we get a lock 60. I don't really give a damn about nothing else. They were like, nah, son, here's 120 frames from your Metro Prime 4. And I'm like,
Now,
all right, damn it.
now, I remember you were talking with the others in one of your earlier
uh,
streams, and I think Honorable Senpai said it. So they said 1080p, and this was before we got the presentation. So when they said 1080p, I was like, ah, damn. He was right.
Lord. So the screen going from 720 to 1080 is about what I think everybody expected. I don't think anyone was really mad about
We
that
want
because,
4K.
well, no. Well, listen, 4K on TV is fine. 1080p in handheld, I'm perfectly cool with.
I guess.
Um, so I'm excited about that. The chat stuff, it's one of those things, kind of like what you said, where like most gamers don't even use the chat features in PlayStation and Xbox. But there's always been conversations about, well, Nintendo doesn't have voice chat. Or on the Switch, it was Nintendo has voice chat, but it's on a phone. Ugh, what kind of nonsense is this? And I'm like, fine. So it's one of
What's up,
those,
Cora?
you
What's
had
up,
to put it
Acorn?
on the system, or else people would just roast you again for it. But of
Right.
course, then people got mad that they acted like it was a new feature. But I'm like, I don't know how else you wanted me to promote it like it's something that's on the Switch too. You need to talk about it. I guess they just didn't like the tone, which
Right.
is what it is.
I mean,
Game library.
the
Oh, go ahead.
price of the console, because I even said this on stream when I was doing that huge hysterical cry about the due date, about the release date. I looked at the price. I was like, oh, okay, not bad. I think this is because it's me coming off of buying my PS5. So I was like, oh, okay, cool. And then I looked at the price of the games and I'm like, oh, we have a new problem. Oh, shit.
Yeah. So the mouse feature, I think is going to be a more. I think the mouse feature is going to be a bigger deal than I think people think it is.
Really? Why do you think that?
In the sense that people will be like, I think the games that use it are going to make people go, oh, I should really use it. And it's also a gimmick that isn't really out of people's like wheel sets. Like most people, especially if you're a content creator or if you use a computer, you're already used to using a mouse. And for certain games like shooters, like Metro Prime is already confirmed to use mouse controls. I think Civilization is also another one that uses mouse controls. People already like using mice anyway. It's not like, oh, well, I gotta get up and use motion controls.
Well,
okay, fine, you don't have to do that.
Will Nintendo be able to sell like mouse pad Nintendo like small?
I don't think Nintendo will do it.
They kind of need to. They're pushing for this thing. I think it should come with one. Otherwise, kids are gonna be scratching the Joy-Con across the glass or wooden tables.
I mean, yeah, technically that would have already been. I mean, here's my thing. I don't think Nintendo will do it. Nintendo will probably license another company to do it. It'll probably be like Nintendo. I think probably since the Wii has been like the company to get a bunch of third party like accessories that everyone wants to use. Like I don't think that'll ever be a problem. It just probably won't be them themselves directly making it, but other people are gonna make mouse pads or even mouse housings to cover over the Joy-Con to make it look more like a mouse to be more comfortable to use. And there's already been previews and conversations about using it as a mouse. Most people are pretty happy about it. They even said that you can technically use it on your pants if you wanted to be one of those people.
What?
And I've done that with a mouse. I've done that with a wireless mouse before. But it is something that's an option. Game lineup, I was mixed about it because I think one of the biggest cons I had was the fact that there wasn't like a lot of Nintendo games. But I had to think about it objectively. If you're talking about Mario Kart in Mario Kart in June, DK in July, you still got Pokemon and Metroid in the fall, and Kirby Air Ride at some point also in the fall.
Kirby Air Rider.
Yeah, Kirby Air Riders. I think I'm fine with the game lineup. It's obviously wanted to push that they have third-party support and that those games run well. And from what I've heard from previews and conversations, Street Fighter runs well, Cyberpunk runs well. I think Bravely Default I wasn't worried about because Bravely Default is a fucking 3DS title, so I wasn't really concerned about that one. But from the previews I've seen, almost everything has run well, so I'm excited to see more, and I'm excited for teardowns. I'm like TSS with that kind of stuff. Right. I would love to see a teardown of the console. And then lastly, before we get into like real specifics, I think the Direct itself was just a strong showing for the console. The biggest frustrations that's come from fans has been mainly the stuff we've learned after the Direct, primarily pricing.
Yep.
But yeah, I guess the first thing we can do as a deep dive is talk about the console price itself. I know we kind of started that conversation, but I've heard some discrepancies and talks about 450, and I don't know how people are in the chat are feeling about it, but I don't really have a problem with 450. I think I would have had a problem with it. I think what made me not have a problem with it is because I didn't expect them to go as hard as they thought. Like, to me, to have a console that does 120 frames on a handheld is absurd. I don't really know how it compares to the Steam Deck in terms of power because I don't really have a comparison and I haven't really got a chance to dig that deep into it. But as a console by itself, just looking at Switch 2 like as it is, I'm just like,
what was the price of the Switch? What was the price of the Switch 1 upon release?
300.
Shit.
It was 300. The the Switch Lite was 200, and the Switch OLED was 350. So the highest it ever got was 350, and that was for the
So
OLED version. That's only
$100
like a
less.
couple years. Yeah.
Okay.
I think there is alternative visuals. I think people were concerned about the pricing in general. I think they were a little paranoid about the pricing, hence why they didn't put it in the direct. I think they wanted the console to speak for itself before they showed.
I think the problem here
price.
isn't. I think the problem here isn't even the date. I mean, no, that's reverse. That is the problem. I think the problem here isn't even the price. It's the date.
The date what, too soon?
Yeah, June. It's in the summer. If you don't know, like Nintendo, like not even Nintendo, video gaming in the summer gets kind of rough because usually parents don't have the money for that stuff in the summer because it's normally during the winter and the holiday season. They're going, okay, cool. I'm saving up. I've been saving up to get my kid this Christmas gift. What's the Christmas gift? Oh, a gaming console. All right, cool. I can buy it for that. Here, it's like, we did the present. Okay, when's it coming out? 2 months from now. Less than 60 days. What? Excuse me? Brother, what? It's coming out. I don't have enough time to say, what the fuck is wrong with you, Nintendo?
I guess the question then is, would you have preferred it? When would you have preferred it come out?
I would have been fine with October. I think October's fine. October's great. It's right before the holidays. In Japan, it's like, that's their like, around their, I wouldn't say holiday, but that's their like video game holiday-esque thing. A lot of stuff comes out in October. Mario came out in October. Fucking Persona came out in, I think, November/October. Yeah, a lot of stuff came out in October around that time. I know Spider-Man isn't Japanese, but Spider-Man 2 came out in October, the same day as Mario Wonder. That's a comfortable month for video games, is October. I'm not sure what the hell possessed them to do June.
So, for me, I think the logic was, if we're going to announce this, if we're going to give this a full rollout in April, we don't want them waiting too long for the console to come out. There is an argument to be made about people having money, but realistically, summer's also probably the best time to put out a game system because that's when most kids are out. They're out of school. They have free time. Putting it out, the reason why you would put it out during October, November is because, hey, here comes Thanksgiving and Christmas.
Right.
I think the logic is somewhat similar for June. You put it out in June, kids are out until like, what, August?
Yeah.
In most cases, and I think in some, depending on where you're at, it's also September. I kind of want it out early here anyway, personally. But that's me. I think that's me as a gamer being like, as an adult, being like, hey,
I don't know. To me,
I want to get this as quick as possible.
True, but to me, I think this is the shortest gap we got between presenting a console and when it comes out.
Nah, the Switch 1 did the same thing.
January was
the big showcase, and then March was when it came out. It was literally the same thing, like 2 months.
Huh. Why don't I? It's probably because I didn't buy it day one.
They they essentially repeated the same thing, just gapped it out differently.
I don't think I bought the Switch day one. That's probably why.
Yeah, because the way it happened is that the Switch 1 had its tease in October of 2016. It had its direct in January, and then had its release in March.
Right.
I think
the difference is literally I didn't buy it day one.
Yeah, because Switch 2 did their tease in January, their direct in April, and then their release in June. I think they're not playing the rule of, because every other console manufacturer, even Nintendo probably, with the Wii U was the last console that did it, released all their stuff during the holidays. Right. Because they said, hey, the holidays would be the best time to do it. The problem is you were fighting a motherfucker like, you were fighting against 3 other consoles in some situations.
Right.
And Nintendo was like, listen, if we get this console out in June, that means it gets to hit the summer where the kids are out, the holidays, all the major holidays up until the end of the year. And then on top of that, you have more games that'll be under the support of Switch 2 with like your ZA Switch 2 version or your Metroid Prime Switch 2 version and this, that, and the third. Also, any kinks that come up will be kind of hopefully bled out by the time you hit October. But I mean, I can see the argument. but I'm also impatient. Personally, I'm glad it's coming out sooner. Also, because it's coming out during my birthday month, so that's a
Oh, so you're
bias
biased.
thing.
Yeah, you're
No,
biased.
absolutely, I agree. I'm biased as fuck. No,
Yeah, I think for me, yeah, it's literally to me that date. I don't know. It just feels kind of weird. But again, the only reason I'm buying it when it comes out this time around is because for streaming purposes, obviously I need it in order to. Nobody's gonna be watching Pokemon Legends ZA in its worst quality, so like I'm gonna get the new Switch so I can just have it. Plus, then I don't have to go around and listen. I got it, and I'm like, I don't have it, which sucks.
exactly.
But
No, no,
also that
exactly.
Mario Kart World Stream's gonna slap. So, um, but that's
Oh
content.
yeah, that.
Yeah, that's
But I
content.
guess
That's content
oh,
creator
go ahead.
shit. Yeah, that's content creator shit. That has nothing to do with with real people. But
Still, I
yeah,
mean, it is what I mean. I guess sticking with the console. Is there anything you wish they'd have added that it still isn't there, or are you fine with
I'm
what
gonna
we
be
have?
honest though. Like a lot of the stuff they're talking about is stuff that realistically either A already exists or B is on a third party. Like one of the big reveals was the GameCube stuff is gonna be on Nintendo Switch 2 online. I'm like,
Mhm.
I love all this, but you're riding off the success of games that already came out. Like, I don't. The the Kirby's Air Rider 2 is like the only thing we got realistically that was like new. Like, oh, that's new. And
So
I
I
think we
guess
got
the question is,
Deltarune 3 and 4 too, but
and another Silk Song
oh
confirmation,
yeah, that too.
but we'll see. We'll see if that actually comes out
Like
because
they're
we
very
because those fans have
lowbrow.
been lied to.
Like they're very lowbrow about. Like I think Donkey Kong's the biggest. Like boom, here's our Switch 2 new poster child game. Whereas when Switch 1 came out, it was like Legend of Zelda: Breath of the Wild and Mario Odyssey. Those were like the two bangers that came out around that year for the Switch. We're
I
here. We're
mean,
going the Donkey Kong route, which I'm not a giant Donkey Kong fan, so I'm just like, cool, that's okay, I guess.
have you had a chance to look at any of the footage for Donkey Kong?
It's nice. It's good. It looks good. Like
No, I'm just curious.
I'm
I was
never
just
gonna,
curious.
I'm not gonna disrespect Donkey Kong. I'm just not a giant fan of him. Yeah, I think it
So,
looks good.
I mean, I'm the same way, but we also haven't gotten a 3D Donkey Kong game since the N64.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
All the other ones have either A, been 2D or been some gimmicky game like Jungle Beat
yeah.
or some shit.
Like I like. Don't get it twisted. I like Kirby Air Riders, from the way it looked so far, at least. But realistically, it's just a sequel to Kirby Air Ride, which is a racing game. I'm like, a lot of these things that you're releasing is stuff that, I hate to say it, is already out. Elden Ring, already out. Yakuza, already out. Street Fighter, already out. Like, all these
I mean, to
things
be
are already
fair,
out.
I think my problem with that, I guess my problem with that thought process is it depends on what you're buying Nintendo games for. I think there was no way they could show you anything as a Nintendo. If you own multiple systems, you already knew how the third party game was going to run. It was either going to be, hey, here's a bunch of titles that aren't on Switch but are already out, and now you can get them on Switch too, or third party exclusives, which the only one I
Yeah,
think that we majorly have is the From Software one,
yeah.
the Dust
Yeah,
Bloods one,
like Bravely
which
Default. I was
that
excited for that,
one.
but Bravely Default already out. Like it's already
Well,
here.
the Brave All is a little bit different because that's openly a remaster, so it's a little bit different.
Again, it's already out though. Like
Yeah, but
it already exists. They were relying a little too heavily on things that already exist.
I mean, that's kind of what they have to do because Nintendo. You people gotta understand, as a Nintendo fan, ever since probably the GameCube, we've been behind. We're behind on the Wii. We're behind on the Wii U. The Switch caught us up in a lot of the older generation stuff, but we were behind for a lot of this stuff. And the Switch 2 is it's the first time we're coming out, and we're not that behind. We're maybe like a console behind in most cases.
Right.
So, and also, I think Nintendo was just trying to prove that, hey, our console's strong enough to run these games.
Right.
So, of course, we were like, well, now we get to see Elden Ring run on the Switch. And then we get to see Yakuza. And then we get to see Street Fighter 6. Bravely Default, I think, is just more of a, hey, Square's like, that's an easy sell because everyone who's played Bravely Default, you've probably played it. on the Nintendo. Like you've played it on the 3DS, and if you haven't played it, this is what you get. So and also the fact that from what I've been seeing in reports, and people in the chat on both chats can correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
I've been seeing pretty positive hands-on impressions for those who've played like Street Fighter. They say it runs at 60. Cyberpunk, I think, runs kind of janky, but then again, Cyberpunk has been running janky since it came out.
Damn.
So, I mean, that was Cyberpunk's biggest problem.
I thought the updates fixed it after a while, though, didn't they?
It's better. I don't know if it's completely fixed, but I know it's better. I'll just say that.
What's up, Goggles and Azor and Chef, by the way, and DB Bop?
Most of the third parties are people who didn't buy them elsewhere and show the Switch can run it. Exactly. Like some people, there are some Nintendo fans who just didn't pick these games up on certain consoles. Like, or even for Street Fighter, for example, every Street Fighter fan knows they're going to release a second or third or fourth edition of the same game with more DLC connected to it.
Right.
So if you don't already have Street Fighter 6, this is a perfect time to grab Street Fighter 6 and get all the DLC with it and not spend, $600 on season passes.
Yeah, but the problem is if you're a competitive player playing Street Fighter, you're not getting Street Fighter 6 for the Switch. You're getting it for Steam. You're getting it for
You say
Steam.
that, but it does run at 60 frames at least based off of what I've been seeing.
60, but we also have to rely on Nintendo's online, which
well, yeah, but that's more of a wait and see. Well, online is inherently flawed anyway.
But Nintendo's online.
Well, we don't know. That's just a we don't know situation. So it's hard to really judge on that.
I guess if you do that, don't click like the chat button or nothing, because I feel like the more stuff is tacked on to Nintendo, the harder their online runs. Like if I hit that chat button, man, I swear that Street Fighter's probably gonna slow down a bit. I know it is. I know it. I'm sorry. I think I've been hit too many times. I just can't trust Nintendo with their online like that.
Well, I think that's the reason why they were pushing for these things. It's like, hey, we got to show you that we're better. I understand it's one of those you've been burned, so you're not going to just believe me. You're going to have to actually experience it yourself and go, okay, this works fine. So we're still in like a, and also not everyone who plays Street Fighter plays it on some competitive shit. Some people just play Street Fighter because they like Street Fighter.
True.
Like and also that's implying that third-party games on Switch shouldn't have sold them.
I gotta change my mind about the Evo community then, because
because if we're being fair, there are games on Switch 1 that were third-party that sold well that realistically had no business selling as well as they do. Like for example, Witcher 3 runs obviously painfully better on PC and like PlayStation, but people still bought it on Switch to the point where I think it sold over 1 million copies. Same thing with Doom. If you're gonna play Doom, why don't you pick the PC or the PlayStation or Xbox version? People so there is an audience for those games. So I understand the value of pushing them. But I would agree that as a Nintendo fan, you wanted to see more Nintendo games. I think the biggest reason why we didn't is because certain games just don't make sense. For example, Mario. Well, if the Mario team is what worked on Donkey Kong, which is what a lot of people believe, especially because the engine looks very similar. That's why you wouldn't have got Mario. Or it could be because next year's the Mario movie, the second Mario movie. It would be smart to coincide that with another game, so you can't put out a game this year and then put out another game next year.
Cross promotion,
Exactly. Zelda Tears of the Kingdom isn't that old. You just released what was it? Zelda Echoes of Wisdom.
And they also just did the Hyrule Warriors, what was it called?
The Imprisoning War.
Yeah, Hyrule Warriors, the Imprisoning War.
You wouldn't get a mainline Zelda. Pokemon, obviously, 30th anniversary is next year, so more than likely that's when we'll get Gen 10. Yeah. So you couldn't get that. Fire Emblem isn't even that old yet. Engage was the last game. Like, unfortunately, the year that this console's coming out, it's just not a good timing for certain IPs.
I think that's that's another reason why I said June is weird.
Well, I mean, I understand the complaint. Like for those who are like, man, I wanted more Nintendo stuff, I completely understand the complaint. I'm really the games that we are getting this year. I'm still excited about, so I'm not waiting 6 months to play.
Because I'm gonna be real, like I've been working at a game store long enough to know summer. Like while summer, yes, you're right. Kids are like out of school. Summer's a very drought season for video gaming. Like it's always has been. No matter what generation of working at GameStop I've been in, summer does not do well for gaming stores at all. Like there are days where I literally sat for almost 8 hours and like barely anybody came in. Like that's because not a lot of new stuff's coming out around this time.
But it also creates an opening for them to release stuff. Then
it's because
there's no competition.
It's because during the summer, I think game devs are making those games. They're making the games around summer. Around fall and winter, we're releasing trailers. By the time we get to Christmas and moving on to New Year, the games are out. They're coming out. So that's usually around that time. That's why October is hitting with so many games around that time, because that's when they usually come out, is around that time, or like the spring of next year, which is would be 2026 in this situation. The Switch 2, it's probably going to be the only thing really selling games, because ironically enough, they're going to be doing this buy this plus the Switch 2, or the Switch 2 version of this. The Switch 2 can play Switch 1 games, or you can buy the Switch 2 version of that game.
Right.
So the Switch is pretty much going to be dominating all summer, with PlayStation and Xbox just sort of building shit for October.
So my question, I guess, to you then is this: what games that you currently know are coming to the Switch 2 do you want to get? Obviously not everything. So
I want Pokemon. I want Pokemon Champions to be on Switch 2.
Okay.
I want. Obviously, we know a new Mario's coming out, so I'm not really worried about him. I want Kid Icarus. I want Kid Icarus.
I'm also talking about games that are currently like already announced that you're planning to buy. Also.
Okay. I'm gonna be honest. Out of all that list of stuff, it's not really anything. I might give Yakuza a shot. Yeah, I might end up giving Yakuza a shot.
So you're just gonna get Mario Kart and Yakuza?
Probably, yeah, Mario Kart, Yakuza. I need to look at the list again. Oh, I'm probably gonna get Kirby and the Kirby and the Forgotten Lands. Kirby in the Guardian, so I can get that extra shit, because I want to play that, because I didn't play the original Kirby Forgotten Lands. I just never got around to it. So I would definitely get Kirby for Switch 2. Plus I think it'll run at a smoother frame rate, so I want that.
You're getting ZA on Switch 2, right?
Of course I'm getting ZA for Switch 2.
Well, listen, I asked you, and that's why I thought that would have been the first thing you said, honestly.
Oh, yeah, that one's a given. Sorry. Yeah, I'm getting Switch 2. I'm getting ZA for Switch 2. Oh, God, we're saying so many, like, after titles now. ZA, Switch 2. But yeah, I'm definitely getting that. So it'll mostly be Mario Kart, Kirby, Pokemon, and Yakuza. Those are the things I'm looking forward to for that. Nothing else has really come up that I'm like, oh my God, I have to have this. I'm probably going to be playing that damn GameCube thing. Even though I have a physical GameCube. I have the actual GameCube. It's sitting in my goddamn living room.
I mean, hey, I'm going to be playing some of the GameCube stuff, especially now that's all Coliseum and XD on there, which I'm pretty shocked that that's on there.
I'm surprised they did it too, honestly. That shook me.
If you're a Pokemon fan, you already know how this goes.
Putting Pokemon shit on Nintendo Online is like pulling fucking teeth. That's why.
And if we do get it, we get it later. We never get it like the first time.
And if we do get it late, we always get it on its most inconvenient way. Like, you can't transfer Pokemon from Stadium 1 or 2. You can't fucking interact your Nintendo other versions with Pokemon Stadium 2. So, for example, if you got the virtual console version of Yellow or Gold, Silver, Crystal, you can't do anything with that in the Switch stuff. So it's like, it's always a catch with them. I'm surprised we got Pokemon Puzzle League for the damn Nintendo 64 online.
Yeah, it seems like the spinoffs seem to be more frequent than the mainline titles for obvious reasons.
Yeah, we got TCG on there, so yeah.
I guess if I was going to go through my list, it'll probably be Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, because I'm getting the bundle.
Nice.
Because I have the online expansion stuff, I'll get the upgrades for Zelda naturally, so I don't have to buy that. It just gets installed.
Yeah.
I'll probably get Prime 4.
Wait, don't you have to pay to get that upgraded?
So I posted an infographic in Messenger and I think I even posted in my server that certain upgrades is if you have the expansion pass, you get those just a part of your expansion pass.
Okay, I have Breath of the Wild digitally. I was thinking about getting Tears of the Kingdom
So
on Switch too.
I mean, yeah, you could do that.
Yeah.
But for me, yeah. So yeah, Donkey Kong, Mario Kart, Metro Prime 4, maybe I'm debating on like 3 other games. Dust Bloods, I need to see more footage before I make a decision on that one, but that's in the maybe pile. Bravely Default is maybe a hard maybe because it's not like I need it and I played
Yeah.
the original, but I do like the original a lot.
The only
And
reason I'm
maybe,
not doing Bravely Default is because I literally just bought it, like the 3DS
well, of course.
version.
By the way, it's only $40. They've already shown the prices for it.
Oh, for
which I
Bravely
was
Default.
like,
That's fine. That's the price of a normal 3DS game anyway.
that's why I was like, that's all. That's a maybe. And then Street Fighter 6 maybe. That's only a maybe because I technically already own the game. That's a low maybe. That's like a very low maybe. But I am tempted. It just depends. It depends. I need this that's gonna be one of those when the console comes out and I get to see it in action. I'm like, okay.
Real briefly,
might
because
do-
somebody asked, and they said me, but we can both answer this. What's your thoughts on that Tears of the Kingdom app, by the way?
Oh, the GPS.
Yeah, because
And
that's what we're getting for that.
The creation part of it, where you can do a QR code for other people's creations, that shit's great.
I like the map only because it reminds me of the old school. Like, if you played old school Legend of Zelda, you bought a Nintendo Power Guide because you needed it, and that's kind of like it's almost like a weird meta. Like Link represents you, so you breaking out the map is like Link breaking out the map. I see the point, so I'm okay with it. I'm okay with Legend of Zelda has a big enough world where I think it's justifiable.
Well, it's also optional. You don't have to use it.
Yeah, you don't have to use it, so I'm fine with it. I think
The fact that it's not in the game itself is probably the reason. I'm pretty. To me, that upgrade means very little.
Yeah.
I think the frame rate and the HDR and 4K boost to me was a bigger like. Oh, that looks. Especially because I think that change was more beneficial in Tears than it was on Breath of the Wild. Breath of the Wild visually doesn't even. They showed some comparison footage. Breath of the Wild doesn't even look that different, other than the frame rate change.
Yeah, I figured.
Tears of the Kingdom, on the other hand, has some sections that just look
immaculate,
like absolutely different.
Good.
So it's probably my least. It's probably one of the more uninteresting upgrades.
Right.
Yeah, it's probably one of my most uninteresting upgrades personally for me. It's
fair.
not bad. It's just not something I need.
Yeah. I think that when it comes to those newer games, I'm weirdly more excited about the older games. That's sad. Like Mario Strikers on that GameCube. I'm looking forward to playing that because I didn't really get the chance to play it when I was younger. I played XD Gale of Darkness, but I have not played it as much as Coliseum. So I'm curious to see how that's going to go.
Here's the thing with XD. Objectively, XD is the better game. But Coliseum, I think, has a better atmosphere and vibe throughout the title, which makes it more fun. And more,
Coliseum's more memorable, sadly. It's just more memorable.
Also, fuck that Lugia fight at the end of XD, but that's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
They had the nerve to do that thing where you have to fight you have to fight Lugia, and then you fight the final boss after
they
it.
basically reversed what they did with Legends Arceus and the Volo and Giratina.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, motherfucker.
Okay, I see what they did. I see.
I mean, you can try to catch him, but it's just a pain in the ass.
Yeah, it's trying to catch him on top of battling.
Oh yeah, I thought that shit was unfair as fuck. I hate that fight. I remember.
Okay, yeah, I can
And
definitely.
for those who don't know what I'm talking about, go look
at
up the final fight in XD. You'll see what I'm talking about.
I can definitely see that being a problem. Yeah, I think what it is too is like with Nintendo. A lot of people are upset with this because I've been seeing a war going back and forth on Twitter, for example, where they're like, "Oh, you guys are saying that Switch, the Nintendo Switch isn't as powerful as other consoles, but the moment they up their prices, everybody wants to complain." And I'm just like, Yeah, but at the same time, Switch is making itself more powerful only to meet up with the same standards that realistically every other gaming console already met.
So here's the thing, and also thank you, Daryl. Daryl's own. Yes, this is the streaming channel. So all my streams are on this channel. But no, here's the thing with the console pricing conversation that's been going on. Everyone's complaints about the Switch One was the controllers are janky and you can't the Joy-Con drift. Oh, you guys are missing key features that other consoles have had for years. Oh, I'm running games at 480p and 640p, and none of these games are in HD or at 60 frames a second. These are all these complaints. Everybody had it with the Switch 1. The Switch 2 has mostly addressed all those complaints.
Yeah.
Based off of just recent events. And people's issue is, well, the game console, why would you pick this over a PlayStation 5? Because technically, I think you can get a PS5 right now for $400.
Yeah, I got my PS. I unfortunately worked there, so I got it cheaper. But yeah.
But I think currently you can get a PS5 Slim console for like $400. And people are like, so why would I pay $450 at the least just for this? And I'm like, well, here's the thing. You can't play those games on the go. I think the on the go part is still a valid conversation that I think people are not acknowledging at all.
But this is this is where a new argument comes in. I'll let you finish, but there's a new argument into this now.
No, go ahead and make the argument.
The new argument now is the Steam Deck.
So
people are bringing up the Steam Deck now.
They say this, but the Steam Deck also hasn't sold nearly as much by any means.
That's because the Steam Deck is not as convenient to fucking have.
But that's not. But my point is, the other issue is that the Steam Deck, it mainly is for your third party stuff.
Right. Nintendo has exclusives.
Yeah, which is the reason why you buy Nintendo products. Yeah. Like people want to sit here and act like I think people forget what console wars and separate consoles were for. It's literally because they each had their own exclusives, and the reason why you would buy a PlayStation was for Crash. The reason why you bought a Sega Genesis was for Sonic. You bought a Nintendo for Mario, and you bought Xbox for Halo. That's how it worked back in the day. Now, since Game Pass and Sony's putting shit on Steam,
and more people are using emulators and stuff.
The lines have been blurred. But if we're being objective and fair here, also children don't want to go through the process of doing a Steam Deck is still not user friendly for a child. No, as much as we want to act like it is, it's not. To do the emulation that people want to do, some kids just don't know how to do that shit. And some kids don't want to know how to do that shit. Just like, look, you understand, human laziness will always be the reason why certain consoles sell as much as they do. Not because it's the optimal thing to buy, but because it's easy. I mean, for God's sakes, half the reason why Apple products sell the way they do is because motherfuckers can't be bothered to learn how to do shit. I don't know how you cut this on in Windows. Apple is just a button. Well, yeah, but it's not like you can't do these same things in Windows, but people don't care. It's the convenience. The convenience of it all is like one of the biggest points to that conversation.
Hell, PC, back in the console war, PC's been existing since the console wars. The only difference is that people don't want to go through the specs and update the PC and get right parts and graphic cards and all that. Kids are buying that stuff now, but even still, there's a huge, if I had to put a number on it, I would say it's only about 20%. There's still an 80% amount of kids that just want to pop a game in and start playing.
Exactly. Yeah, is there a high-end investment for getting a gaming PC? Sure, but motherfuckers are lazy and they don't want to be bothered. Yeah, that's the reason why. That's why the pre-built market is still a thing for a lot of people. Should you pre-build a console? Absolutely not. You can build that shit yourself. Yeah. But you know why people do it? Because they don't want to go through the effort.
Yeah, convenient.
Human laziness is the evil of all progress in some aspects. But my point. But getting back into the original the statement of the argument, going back and forth, your options were one or two things. Either you get a 350 console with an OLED screen that's only marginally more powerful than the original Switch, and your games, instead of running at 640p, might hit 720 with a lock 30, or do you want a game console where now you hit 4K or at least 1080p at a lock 60 or 120 frames depending on the game? This is your trade-off That's the other reason why those old SD cards don't work anymore.
Yeah.
Because you have faster loading times. They even showed in the direct feed footage. I think it was Yoshi they used as the example.
Yeah.
It loads quicker on the Switch 2. That's why the game cards are different. That's why you need the better SD cards. You are getting an improved everything on this system. There is nothing on this system that isn't inherently improved. And from what I've heard from hands-on impressions, people like the bigger size of the analog sticks and the buttons and the fact that you have a USB cord on the top, so now you can stand it up on tabletop mode and still charge it from the top of the thing. I think they very much looked at most major criticisms with the console and addressed those problems. People are just mad because they don't want to spend extra money for it, as if weren't complaining about having a better system anyway. So that one's a pick your poison. I don't think they're ever going to win on that one. To me, I think the investment they made was worth it.
I mean, I remember we brought this up before, but games are going to get more expensive anyway, sadly, as time just moves forward.
Oh, do you want to get into that? We can get into it.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think for me, it was the individual games that did the more damage for me. Because I'm looking at this, and 80 might not seem like a lot at first, but you got to think, if you're buying multiple games, eventually that's going to stack. That's gonna catch up to us hard. The console, I've always compared it to this weird joke from Bob's Burgers where the teachers end up spending the kids' field trip money on a coffee machine. And they said the coffee machine wasn't expensive. It was the K-cups that were expensive. The little things that you put the coffee, the little tiny coffees that you put in the damn machine. That's what this feels like. It's like the Switch 2 isn't expensive. The games are expensive. That's the problem. But yeah, we can go into that part.
Okay, so for those who don't know, and I want to make sure this is understood, because a bunch of fucking people have said a bunch of nonsense that isn't true. Right. Also, why? Yeah, I know Crash I know is a third-party title, but at the time, people correlate Crash with Sony. That's why I use that as the example.
Right.
So, for those who don't understand, there have been reports that Nintendo Switch 2 games are going to be $80 to $90. Now, what I'm saying is that they're wrong about part of that because of a couple things. One, there has been no confirmed $90 game. There is no game that's been shown that is going to be $90. Not on Nintendo's website, not on third party. I think, honestly, they were looking at Canadian or a European price. But as far as I've seen on the US, there is no game that is listed for $90. Mm-hmm. None. That is some fear-mongering nonsense that hasn't been proven in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
The $80 thing, and secondly, there's only one new Nintendo Switch 2 game that is actually $80, that being Mario Kart. The other $80 Switch 2 games are all ports, improved ports, meaning I think it's like Breath of the Wild is 80, I think Kirby's 80, and I think Mario Party's 80. Mm-hmm. I think I rounded it up. I think Tears is like 70 still. I need to go double check on that. Yeah, but the only, because Donkey Kong is 70, Bravely Default is 40, Street Fighter I think is 60 or 70. I know it's not 80. All I've seen from the other games, they're not 80. They're either 70 or lower. The only $80 game, the only new game is Mario Kart, and the other ones being the ports. Mm-hmm. And I think I know why the ports are that price, but that's a whole other thing. Okay, all right. Thanks, Donnie. I got it twisted. Breath of the Wild is 70, Tears is 80. So those are the main things that need to be acknowledged, is that there is no $90 US game currently.
Right.
There's none. And the only brand new Switch 2 title that's actually $80 is Mario Kart, because DK is already listed for 70. So for me, I'm gonna just be real about it. No one wants to spend more money for anything.
Right.
Games, anything. So I'm not really mad at those who are angry about spending more money. I am gonna say,
right,
if you're gonna be mad about this, did you have the same energy when we went from spending $60 to $70 games when you got a PlayStation 5 or an Xbox Series X? Because to me, the energy should be exactly the same. Because if you weren't angry at them then you shouldn't be angry now. And some of you are gonna be like, well, why not? Nintendo's being greedy. Yeah, but you also had companies back then. You also had companies like Ubisoft and fucking Activision that created different editions of the same game that were like 60 for this version, 70 for this version, 80 or 90 for this version. Call of Duty did that shit. I think Assassin's Creed had versions like that. So I don't like the narrative that Nintendo started this. They absolutely did not.
No.
Absolutely did. They may be, technically, if we want to be fair here, Sony and them started it when we went from $60 to $70 games.
Right.
And some of these games are still ass with no improvements in them. So I don't want this conversation to act like all of a sudden this is a Nintendo specific problem. I think it's a problem because Nintendo currently is the highest of the main console manufacturers to put out an $80 game price tag, but they are not the first to just randomly jack up the price of the console. So to me, if you don't have the same energy for one, I don't want to hear it for the other. You need to either be consistent or shut the fuck up. Now, if you're just mad and you were mad at both, that's fair.
I think the only fear I have of this is like for deluxe versions of games, because I know those are going to be more expensive anyway, but like the average price of a PlayStation 5 game right now, if you want like a concrete number, would be $69.99. So after tax, that translates to about what? About 72, $74. About $74, almost $75. That's not a great number, but it is currently lower than what Switch 2's boasting. But but Switch 2's not doing that for every game. I think they're doing it for Mario Kart World because it's Mario Kart World. It's like that's supposed to be Switch 2's like money banger right now. Like that's their. I would argue it's not their launch. It's their launch title. It's their launch title. So it's gonna get more. It's gonna pull more. So they're probably banking on it being more. I think they're probably gonna rest at $69.99 as an average price for Switch 2 games. Now I could be wrong.
the only two titles I think that'll go above 70 will be Zelda or Mario Kart. I don't even think 3D Mario will go over 70.
Think for Zelda doing it would be kind of weird considering that Tears of the Kingdom already is out. Like that already came out.
So here's the thing. And this is what people also got to recognize. If you already own some of these games, the Switch 1 games, you're really just paying the upgrade. You're just paying the upgrade
You can
price.
play them on the Switch 2 and just upgrade them realistically. So.
Yeah, realistically, the only problem is that we don't know how much the upgrade price is, but if I had to take a shot in the dark, I would guess it's probably somewhere between $10 and maybe $20 depending on the game. Because Kirby being 80 is obviously graphical and resolution improvements plus new content. Same thing with Mario Party. It's just essentially, hey, here's an improved game with also DLC.
Yeah, because Mario Party Jamboree just has flat out new games on it.
Terrell, how you didn't see the outrage when $70 games were a thing? Because people were angry at the point that they called Sony greedy. Yeah, but people are, I guess. Yeah, but if that's the case, that's fine. Like I said, I'm not angry that people are mad at it. I'm more angry at the inconsistency because some people still bought those games. Actually, I think that's the other thing that needs to be put in the context. If you still bought these titles at those prices,
you are at fault.
You're a part of the problem, technically. We're not going to say that like that wasn't what happened. Like that's still what happened. And which actually gets into the other conversation. I'm going to just say this real quick and then we'll go back to the game prices real quick.
Yeah.
So people's one of the other complaints was that that Nintendo Switch 2 Tour game being paid instead of it being packed in.
That. That's me. I'll own up to that. That should have came with. I'm sorry. You can argue with me on that one, but I will die on that hill. That should have came with. That should have came with. That should have been free.
So let me explain my position.
All right.
I agree that I would have personally preferred it to be a pack-in title, considering what that game really is, which is just a bunch of tech demos showing off the Switch 2's various features.
Yep.
One, we don't know the price of that game by itself yet.
Well, so they're saying $6. Which
Huh?
what? They're saying $6. What?
You mean like six, like literally $6?
$6, right? I saw that on Twitter. They're saying $6, and
Well,
Azur's
then
saying
I
$6.
don't really see the problem.
Azur's saying $6 for a lamer Astro Playroom.
That's not what that is. I know why they're saying that. That's a whatever. The reason why I don't think they're going to charge for it is actually the Nintendo fan base's fault. Is the reason why they're charging for it in general.
Really?
Well, I think we had this conversation. 1-2 Switch is another game that a lot of Nintendo fans went, yo, this should have been a pack-in title. This should have been a pack-in title. Now, if you ask me to go look up how much did 1-2 Switch sell for a game that should have been a pack-in title, it sold over 3 million units.
How much did Nintendo Land cost?
I want you to Nintendo Land was a pack-in, I believe.
Oh, that was pack. That was free.
I think
That was the thing that came with the Wii U. I don't remember that being free.
Maybe it wasn't. I don't remember.
I'll look it up while you do that.
But here's the thing. 1-2 Switch was not free and was a game that they ended up selling over 3 million units, borderline 4 million units. The reason why I'm bringing this up is that for those who don't know, they openly said that Breath of the Wild, the game that everyone's been talking about and it took all that time to develop, had to sell 3 million units to justify its funding.
Right.
So it's painfully obvious that 1-2 Switch outsold anything it needed to sell.
It was a pack-in. It was a pack-in title. It was a pack-in.
Okay, I thought it was a pack-in title. I just wasn't sure. It's been a while. But my point is that 1-2 Switch is a game that arguably has sold more than some other IPs. Like, for example, it outsold ARMS. ARMS is a game that actually is a fighting game, and I think ARMS only sold like 2 million. It outsold Xenoblade, for God's sakes. Xenoblade was like, I think Xenoblade 2 sold like 2 million or some shit.
Right.
Like, they didn't make it a pack-in title because people bought games that were of lesser quality that should have been pack-in titles. So in their mind is, well, if you bought 1-2 Switch, then you definitely will buy this. So that's something that's really, I'm not surprised Nintendo charged for it, but I would agree with you, Tyrone, that it probably should have been a pack-in. It's just not going to be because it's been proven they can make money off of these titles, so why the fuck would they pack them in? And people can call that greedy, but it's technically the consumer's fault for showing them that it was an endeavor to take. If you had not bought that, if that game didn't sell well, they wouldn't be still out here doing the same thing over again.
I think it's good to be a pack-in title because one of the big problems that parents have when buying their kids a new console is they're going, damn, I gotta buy this console and I gotta buy a game with it. Whereas here, if they buy the console, the kid can play around with just the pack-in title for a little bit, buy some time for the parent to save up some money to get some other games later on down the road. It was a good it was a good thing to chew on. And it also showed how the game works.
Oh no, there's value in it being a pack-in title. Also, real quick, Nessa, hey, we did not talk about it, but I am aware of the pre-orders being delayed.
Yeah, we brought it up. We brought it up in the chat.
We brought it up vaguely. We were gonna get to it a little bit later.
Yeah.
I think I've said it before, but if you want to get into the server and talk, you can. Just keep that in mind. But no, we haven't gone into detail about it. We're still covering the game pricing currently stuff, but that will be something we bring up in more detail later.
Emmy commented on the title. I said Switch 2 is too expensive. That's because I'm gonna say this now for my Canadian viewers. If y'all in Canada, y'all got fucked. Oh my god. Oh shit.
To be fair, they've always gotten fucked.
Yeah, but this is the first time one of our Canadian friends openly said something about it.
No, she's talked about consoles being expensive.
She said it before, but when we talked about it yesterday,
this is the new. This is the newest thing.
No, I'm gonna be playing Mario Kart World for a very long time. I think
that's the other reason why they weren't concerned about doing a pack-in title, because most people are gonna get that bundle.
They are, but that's
Well,
that's still not. I'm sorry.
let me be real with you.
Well, because the reason
the
that
bundle, go ahead.
the reason I say that that Nintendo Switch thing two things should come with it is because it's mostly just telling you how the Switch 2 works. That's all it's doing. That's why I think it should be a pack-in title. Like,
No. I'm not. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying I can see why they didn't do it because there was money to be made, and 1-2 Switch proved that people are willing to spend money on those things. So why the hell make it a pack-in title when they sold over 3 million copies of a game that probably cost. They probably only need to sell maybe like 20 to 50,000 to justify its pricing. They sold 3 million. So of course they're like, hey.
I mean, at
and to be
point,
fair, the tech demo looks cool. Now, if it actually is $6, I don't even care, bro. I'm not even gonna complain about that.
But I still think it should have been in the thing. It should be with
I agree, but at $6, it's almost a non-issue in my mind.
Like, I think it's because I think back at like the 3DS. Even if you don't spend any money, I think you could play like 2 or 3 games on that bitch without spending a dime.
Right.
I think you had that one game. I can't remember. It was like you control your Mii, but he's like in an RPG game.
Oh, you're talking about not Mii Plaza. It was
I can't remember what it's called.
Is it Miitopia?
Something like that. It was like that. And then you also did the what was it? The fucking you did another thing. A 3DS did something else. It was a bunch of these cool little games you could play without having to actually spend money on it. Like if you bought the 3DS, you had some content on there. Hell, if you bought the DS, you had a bunch of apps you can do. You could do the fucking drawing game. You could do the shit. You could play other people's games. It came with Legend of Zelda 4 Swords. And other people could play the bitch. That was the weird part. Even if they don't have 4 Swords, they could do the Nintendo DS wireless thing to connect, and they all could play 4 Swords. Shit was
we
wild.
still have, to be fair, we still have game share on Switch too.
We got it back, but it's still come on.
Oh yeah, Donnie said you're thinking of the Mii Plaza, those mini games, and Tyrone is thinking of Face Raider.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, you could do all that stuff on it. Like, I don't know. I feel as though there should be little fun stuff added on to give the player something to chew on. For PlayStation and Xbox, I don't care because they know what they're about. But Nintendo's always been very much, hey, we've got this new thing. Do you want to try, like, playing these things before you actually buy a $60 fucking game first?
Well, I think that's the other thing I don't really care for is that people like to make the argument that like this is some real greed coming in. But I'm like, yeah, but when Nintendo was the financially conscious console, none of you fuckers cared. It was always like you people. It was like, well, Nintendo. Like, give you an example. PlayStation 4 used to have that whole. No, it wasn't PlayStation 4. It was PS3.
Right.
Had that backwards compatibility. And the Wii was backwards compatible with the GameCube, and the Wii was backwards compatible with the Wii.
Yeah.
And then the PS4 lost its PS3 backwards compatibility, and no one gave a shit. But all of a sudden, when we hit PS5, all of a sudden you care about backwards compatibility again. At a certain point, it makes me think that it's about the company and it's not about the feature.
Yeah.
And that's the shit where it gets spooky to me, personally.
Yeah.
And also, Alternative Visuals did bring up a good point. He said Reggie had to fight for Wii Sports to be a pack-in game. Originally, they weren't even going to do that.
KG mentioned it back in our conversation last night.
Yeah, also, like that's
I can't press that's something right now.
That's just something I think they thought that it would still sell well. Now, granted, I think obviously it wouldn't have sold as well as it did because buying a Wii counted as a purchase for Wii Sports, but still, it would have did very well. I mean, for God's sake, we saw how much Wii Sports Resorts hit.
It's Navy
reward. Yeah.
Well, and I can't press the Stream Deck buttons right now. I gotta reset the Stream Deck.
I do too. Mine's updated, and I need to change
updated,
the
and I think
it
froze. It froze. Yeah.
Yeah, but and Nintendo can drop their prices like they did with the 3DS. I mean, they can. I don't think they're going to.
I mean, I get that. But, okay, well, then that begs the question. Why did Reggie fight for that specifically? Why?
Because Reggie thought it was a good idea.
Just so like he probably had the same mindset that I did. Yeah.
But that's the American side of Nintendo. The Japanese side didn't give a damn. Hence why.
And that makes me sad.
Well, it's different sensibilities. Like they just thought that that those games would still do well, and obviously 1-2 Switch proved that it could still do well.
Well, because I feel like because your argument is with the numbers, which I respect, because obviously I can't argue with numbers. Numbers are real, but
well, I'm just saying I'm not disagreeing with your core point. Your core point being that it would be beneficial to have a packing game like Wii Sports or like Nintendo Land.
I think it's just because people also, their core memory with the Wii comes with that because it was a pack-in. Yeah, like everybody talks about Wii Sports still. Even to this day, they're like, "Oh my god, Wii Sports! I love Wii Sports." Hell, I think like I've had old people in their like 60s saying like, "I love the bowling game on the Wii." It's like they're saying that because the Wii Sports was a pack-in game that nobody went out of their way to have to buy, and thus it gained a familiarness with the family. It gained a staple. It's something that transcended sales. It had nothing to do with sales anymore. It was very much, this is how people remember the Wii. My aunt doesn't fuck with video games, and she has a Wii specifically because of Wii Sports. Well, that and Wii Fit, but
Also, Goki, yeah, the whole region lock Japan Switch 2 is true. That is very much hey, if you want to Switch 2 and you don't care about playing international titles, then go for it. Also, I think it has less storage. I think was the other thing.
Wait, that's a bad thing though, right?
Say what?
That it has less storage, isn't that bad?
I mean, yeah, but that's only a Japan option anyway. Everybody else is getting the international version, which they are too. They have the choice. They can just pick between either the region lock version or the international version. But that's just something they're offering in Japan. People are always jump on Nintendo. This is one of the first times Nintendo jumped the gun before Microsoft and Sony by upping the price. Well, like I said, technically they're not even jumping the gun as much as they just not that they shot last, they just shot farther. Like that's the way I look at it. Technically, like I said, we just got a $10 increase at the beginning of this generation with PS5 and Xbox. So it's not like the upping the game price is a new concept. It's only like 5 years old. Like the PS5 has been out since 2020. So it's been about 4 to 5 years that we've been dealing with the $70 game.
And I want to clarify something. Even amongst its own brethren, the Switch 2 is still not as expensive compared to the other two when it came out. The other two are still $500 for their base forms.
I think people just don't want. The problem with the price conversation when it comes to the console itself is that people are forgetting that portability is a huge thing. They very much like that is half the reason why you're buying Switches in the first place. Not that you're going to play this shit in the highest fidelity. You're doing it so you can play it on the go. You can play Witcher 3, Street Fighter 6, Cyberpunk 2077. And people keep thinking it's just old games. Borderlands 4 is already confirmed for the Switch 2, and that game isn't even out yet on anything. Like, so it's not just old titles. There are also new games coming out. And I'm gonna be real with you, as long as the games are locked to 60, most people ain't gonna give a fuck about the 4K situation. Because in handheld mode, that won't matter anyway.
Right.
If it can do 1080p 60, no one gives a fuck. And from what this has shown, we absolutely can do 1080p 60 on most of these games.
Yeah, definitely.
Not $200. It was the same price as the 3DS when it launched. Oh, well, the 3DS situation, because that's the other thing I've been hearing about. Well, they cut the price of the 3DS when it launched. That's a little different.
What was the price cut to again?
It's like $50.
Oh.
It went from like $250 to $150.
Oh,
no,
yeah.
It went from $200 to $150. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that's just because I think the 3DS wasn't selling well when it first came out in 2011. I think the other thing that really hurt the 3DS
that's because sadly was that name. It was like, oh, DS, the 3DS.
I don't think that was the problem. I think the problem is they didn't have any killer software. We didn't have any major game release. Hell, we didn't even have Mario 3D Land until, what was that, like 2012, I think? is when we had 3D Land. You didn't get things like what was it, the Star Fox remake or the Legend of Zelda Ocarina and Majora Mask remakes, and then the what was it, X and Y didn't come out until 2013.
Yeah.
Like the 3DS just didn't have killer apps when it first came out. It came out in 2011, and most of its best hitting games didn't come out until like 2012, 2013.
I did watch an episode of Kirby Right Back at you on it.
Yeah.
Hey, I don't know. It was some weird hidden episode that came exclusively on the damn thing. I can't even explain.
No, I got you.
But I do like fun stuff like that.
Well, of course. No, it was the games on the 3DS, but once it got the game, yeah, exactly. Once it got its games, that was the big thing. It didn't get its major releases until later, and that's when it was like, oh shit.
I think it really hit the ground and started running when it got the virtual console. Once it got the virtual console, I was like, "Oh shit, this is a wrap."
It's not true, because it had the virtual console like not day one, but it was early in. Because remember, if you were an early adopter, you became one of those like ambassadors for the program, and you got access to certain games that like no one else did. So I think the virtual console was already there. Maybe not to the same things, but still.
Yeah, well, no, because I remember falling in love with the 3DS's library after I got access to that virtual console.
Most modern games are not 1080p 60 on the Steam Deck. If you look at competitors outside of the Switch and Steam, go up to $600 and beyond. Well, that's my point. Like, it's still cheap. It's still a cheap console in comparison. But like I said, I don't think people's issue was really with the console. It's been with the game prices. I just think the $80 to $90 conversation that's going on is a little overblown because, one, there is no $90 game. No one can show me a $90 game. That's fear-mongering, and people haven't properly explained. The only thing that exists currently is $80 titles, and the only brand new $80 game is Mario Kart. Donkey Kong has already proven that Switch 2 titles won't all be $80. But people are still running their mouths acting like it is. That's what's kind of pissing me off, personally. It's this like misconception. But yeah, that's just how I feel about it.
I get it.
Like I said, at the end of the day, I'm not happy about spending $80. I'm not happy about spending $70. I wasn't happy about spending $60. People keep forgetting the Wii was like the last console that still had $50 games.
Yeah.
So like, I don't want to sit here we're not gonna sit here and pretend like, oh, well, Nintendo just doesn't care about the consumer. No. You fuckers said y'all didn't care about pricing as long as you got the game you wanted. I think the reason why people are acting the way they're acting is because they don't like Nintendo games like that. So now it's a problem. When you fuckers bought God of War, I didn't hear no complaints. Or Horizon Forbidden West. Or fucking Spider-Man 2. Like, it's selective outrage. You gotta be consistent if you're gonna get mad. That's the way I feel about it.
I mean, yeah. Looking at it from the casual buyer's perspective, like when I look at like audience, like when I look at people who aren't gamers or hardcore gamers come into like a store or something to buy games, that price jump to 70 people were complaining. Like parents were complaining more specifically. They're openly pissed that they got to pay $70 for games for their kids now.
Well, of course, because no one wants to spend more money than they have to.
Right.
Like, and I just want to put into the whole greedy argument. Nintendo also fucking all your Switch 1 controllers will work on Switch 2, by the way. Just like how it was with the Wii and Wii U, where all your Wii controllers worked on the Wii U.
Oh, wait, the Switch 1's Joy-Cons can work on the Switch 2.
Yeah, and the Pro controller can work on Switch 2.
Wait, hold on. How is that going to work? Because in order to get your Switch 1 to connect with another Switch 1, you had to like put it in the slot and then take it back out. There is no slots for the Switch 2. These are magnetic.
No. It's a pairing. You would have to just.
You gotta click the pairing button in the inside.
Yeah, if you when you take a Joy-Con off of the thing, there is a button.
Oh, that little tiny button that's in between L and R.
Yeah.
Okay.
You press that and that's how you sync it to the system. So all you're just.
It's kind of like the Wii's Wii remotes.
And they've already confirmed that the Bluetooth is supposedly better on the Switch.
Oh, she said on the home. Amy said on the homepage you compare to. Okay, got it. All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, see,
that's fine. Okay.
So it's not like if they really wanted to be greedy about this shit, They could have just said, no, you would have bought all brand new Switch 2 stuff.
Yeah, because realistically, this is more of an extension of the Switch rather than a. I mean, it's new, but it's living off of what already exists.
Well, I think what people need to just be real about it is providing you options.
Yeah,
that's the whole point. That's how I feel about it. It's options. I don't want to act like everything was perfect, because I'll talk about one thing. I'll talk about the game that I think was the least appealing the whole fucking direct.
What?
And you probably know what it is, or if you don't know, you'll know as soon as I say it.
What?
Let me make sure I get the name right.
Okay.
I'm probably gonna fuck up the name because his name is. Where is it? That's the wrong. Oh, here we go. It is called.
Is it that creepy Pac-Man game?
No. It actually doesn't look bad at all. It's Dragon Drive.
Oh, I completely, I like the beat to that. It's the paraplegic soccer,
That is probably the most.
That's for the mouse feature. That's for the mouse feature.
I don't give a fuck what it's for. It's such an unappealing game.
Come on, man. That's not.
So here's the thing.
Terrell, that's not our demographic.
Here's the thing. No. Here's the thing. In terms of the concept, cool. When it comes to concepts, cool. In terms of visuals and like actual watching that game go, absolutely not. It is the most boring game aesthetically I think Nintendo has ever shown off. I was like, I want you to compare. And here's my thing. You take that game and you compare it to ARMS, which are both new IPs that came out for their systems when they launched. These are obviously, and they were meant to show off the gimmicks of the console. The mouse feature is cool, and of course they try to do unique gameplay with it. I don't even think that the game, it just looks boring.
It's
like visually, I hate
soccer.
the character. They're just dudes in masks and on wheelchairs, just rolling. I don't give a fuck what they are. They need to change that game's whole aesthetic needs to be revamped. It looks so boring.
I think
boring.
What it is I like the idea. I hate the coat of paint that they used for it.
Exactly. That's literally what I'm saying.
Yeah, because they could have, because like think about it, like Rocket League.
Yes, it's using Nessa. It's using the mouse feature. Essentially, you take like I'll show you. I have Joy-Cons next to me. I'll show you what it's
right.
Because it's essentially you're pretending that you're in a wheelchair
and you're
driving a ball home, and you're just like, and conceptually, it's not bad, but it just looks like ass. So you take your two Joy-Cons, disregard the covering, but you're turning them on your sides,
right.
And you're like rolling them. Like you're rolling your wheels by pushing your Joy-Cons forward on the side with the mouse feature. So you're like, vroom, vroom. It's like it's like those toy cars you set up. You're just doing this.
Yeah.
You're rolling your wheels with them. And you're playing basketball.
Yeah. Look, no, you're playing soccer.
Is what soccer?
No, you're right. It is basketball. My bad. It's paraplegic basketball. My bad. But look. I think the problem here is literally the way it looks. Because let's take a game that's kind of similar to it, where like Rocket League. Rocket League, in all sense of the purpose, kind of stupid. But the way it looks kind of helps it out. Because they made the ball comically big. They made the cars look nice. I think they should have just splashed some nicer paint on this.
Oh yeah, it looks like ass. Like this is like one of the worst first showings of a game I've seen in so long.
Because I think that the characters that are playing, I don't think they have faces.
No, they're in masks.
Yeah. So
they're in these black outfits with these big ass gloves. I'll give
you another example of a game that had a basic concept, but its aesthetic helped it. Knockout City, dodgeball game. Loved Knockout City, but it had this cool, like almost 80s hip hop, like boys playing ball down in the streets, like vibe to it. It had a theme, so it worked. Like it works, because dodgeball, it's dodgeball. Realistically, this shouldn't even be as a very appealing, but they found a way to give it like this funk to it that helped give it like flair. The problem with this game is literally it's robots that are disabled playing basketball. It has all the excitement. It would be like playing a racing game where the cars look gray and the racers inside are literally crash test dummies instead. Like it's not viable enough to be an IP that works. It's probably gonna unfortunately just fall into obscurity. It's not that we don't it's not that we don't support accessibility. Accessibility is great. The problem here is the presentation.
No, for those in my chat, I'm gonna show you footage. I want you to see footage of it.
All right.
And you tell me if this shit looks like it's worth a damn. Because me personally,
I like the music in that trailer.
Like the music can be whatever the fuck it wants to be. It's still a fucking disappointment. Hold on, I'm gonna pull up footage on my side because it's one of those things where I had to sit there and just be like, why did you waste my time like this, bro?
Why did you waste my time?
It literally angers me. It genuinely angered me that they had the nerve to show it, and it literally and it's such a disappointing game. And I think it's mainly the aesthetics. If you fix those aesthetics, that game would pop out a lot more. And obviously what people are going to want to do is just play this with a controller anyway.
Right. They will. But yeah, their intention is that you play it with the damn
the mouse.
With the mouse, yeah.
Oh, you're absolutely right. But fuck them.
I mean, yeah, but I'll show it off on my end too.
I just want y'all to look at this shit.
He is very.
It's not. I am. Someone's gonna be in the back gonna be like, "Oh, you're being mean," and you're right. I absolutely do.
He said,
I absolutely am being mean.
I don't give a fuck.
But look at this shit. Also, apparently, I did not change the.
I'll show off mine too. Let me know when you're ready. Like we'll sync it.
No, it's already playing. My bad.
Oh shit. It's all good.
Well, I'm using the gameplay demo they showed on the Treehouse. I'm not using like the trailer.
Oh, I'm using the trailer. Okay, so.
No, you can use the trailer. It's a different experience.
Yeah.
But like it just man. Oh god, not the handicap game. Exactly. This is the other thing we can talk about while this is going on, by the way. So even though with all these talk of Switch 2 games that are going to be $80, I think something people didn't bring up is that some Switch 1 games are just getting upgrades naturally. There are just some games getting natural upgrades. Like, so as soon as you plug it into the Switch 2, those games are just naturally getting upgraded. And some of the games that were shown, one of the ones I think is the most interesting, they showed off Scarlet and Violet. It's gonna be one of those games that gets upgrades.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
I didn't even think about it. Oh shit, I have to run Scarlet and Violet on fucking Switch 2.
But the thing is, you don't have to buy the game again. It's supposed to just be it's just a natural
I'll just have to transfer my save data over, right?
I guess. Yeah, that probably.
I gotta transfer my save data.
So I guess the question for those in the chat is, what kind of upgrades are y'all expecting for those games? Not the one with the boxes.
For Scarlet and Violet, I realistically think it's still gonna have some weird like glitches, but I think it's gonna look better. Which, okay.
Well, I mean, yeah, because it's not fixing bugs.
It's not fixing bugs. It's just fixing like.
Do you think the frame rate is gonna be more consistent?
Maybe. Yeah. I think so. You want to know what it is? I ended up playing Scarlet and Violet, and I know it's literally once you hop online, once you literally connect it to the online, that's where things start becoming problematic. If you play it offline, it's okay. Like I didn't run into any actual problems when I played the game offline. There's some people that did run into some problems. I didn't run into that many problems when I was playing the game offline. Once it hops online, that's where the issues start to show up.
Is there a comparison video for Scarlet and Violet? No,
No.
because no one's plugged
The only
it in
one
yet.
the only one they did was this comparison video for ZA, which
Did
I hate
they?
it. Yeah, well, somebody on Twitter put the two pieces of footage next to each other of ZA. And I'm gonna be honest, and I hate to be that guy. At a certain point, it starts to look the same to me. I hate to say it. Like,
That's just because ZA, unfortunately,
I looked at him
is
like, okay, it looks slightly better, but it's not so much better to the point where I'm thinking, oh my god, a new experience. Like, it's looks
damn,
slightly,
man.
it looks slightly cleaner, like slightly. Like, it's not even. I don't know. Maybe my eyes suck. I don't know. It's almost like when I looked at Last of Us 2 for like the billionth time and they keep doing that screen split thing and my brain's like, I can't tell the difference. Am I stupid? Am I stupid? Is that what it is? I
You sound
can't
more
tell the
traumatized than
difference.
stupid.
Like, I look and it's like, okay, cool. I can see 3 more blades of grass on the left side. Does it matter?
Some people just like a cleaner image to look at, though.
But to me, how clean does clean get? Like, when do we reach our point? Because I would see comparison videos all the time and look and be like, now improved. And I'd be like, Horizon Zero Dawn on both of these looks the same. What the fuck are you talking about?
It's mainly frame rate that most people bring up. The frame rate is what makes a difference. A game can look exactly the same, but if you fix that frame rate, man, the experience is just different.
Right.
Xenoblade Trilogy will benefit the most from Switch 2 upgrades. I didn't see Xenoblade in the picture, in the video, in the visuals for that though.
Right.
That's the only thing that bummed me out about that one. But I saw Fire Emblem Engage, and I might go back and look at that.
I think the only time I've ever seen like a change that made me go, huh, nice, is Sonic Unleashed, weirdly enough. Where Sonic Unleashed was on the Xbox 360 and then they popped it on the Xbox Series S, and I'm like, that's what it's supposed to look like.
I think ZA, unfortunately, just the only thing that really matters for ZA is literally the art, is the cleanness of the image and the frame rate. That's it.
Now,
Like, it doesn't look like, even if you look at the Breath of the, I said the same thing about Breath of the Wild. When you look at the comparisons for Breath of the Wild, it looks almost exactly the same. Like, I didn't notice any crazy differences with this.
Yeah, because I'm like, how much better can graphics get? Is my question. What's our goal here?
It depends on the game. Nintendo games are different because they're using a cartoony art style.
Yeah, it's the art style.
Because as much as people are like, I don't know how good a Nintendo game can look. Go look up and if you look at Donkey Kong Bonanza's footage, this shit looks immaculate.
It does look good.
Looks fucking immaculate. You know how much this game was already kind of a tech demo off of the premise of having a game that you can break anything and everything.
Yeah.
This game's whole function is to fucking run around and break the entire environment. But why would you do that? Why the fuck not? I have access to it.
Right.
This shit looks fucking great. I have it playing on my thing now. I'm jumping between footages of different games. But yeah, this is probably the game I'm probably the most excited for next to Mario Kart is Donkey Kong.
It does look good. Like, I think for me, it's not a day one purchase, but I do see myself getting this at some point.
I'm the type of motherfucker that go around and start breaking shit off of premise, so it's absolutely day one.
Yeah, for me,
all I need is an excuse to fuck some shit up.
I've never had a dangerously long history with Donkey Kong too. That's probably what it is. I never really played like Donkey Kong Country when it came out and stuff.
Alternate visuals. You want to know why there's hate for cartoony graphics? Because we live in an era where everyone wants, everybody's looking for realism.
I always glue this to Legend of Zelda Wind Waker specifically. In my head, that's always the poster child for this shit. So around the time I think Wind Waker came out, I think Wind Waker came out after Twilight Princess, right? Right?
But yeah, Wind Waker was on GameCube. Twilight Princess was on GameCube and Wii.
Yeah. So Twilight Princess, when it came out, everybody was all like, "Oh my god, this is a good Legend of Zelda game. The way it looks realistic and blah blah blah." But then after a certain amount of years, people kept going, "I like Wind Waker. Twilight Princess was kind of meh." Like, what happened? And I go back and I'm like, that's because Wind Waker, while it had the more like cartoony graphics, those stood the test of time. Whereas Twilight Princess aged like milk. Like the moment we got out
Princess,
of the moment we got out
but
of
people,
out of our little funk of that, everybody was like, "I want Wind Waker. Oh my god, Wind Waker looks so good. Oh my god, I love Wind Waker." Like everybody suddenly came out of the woodwork, started liking Wind Waker.
also Goki, being a performance guy is what most people is to me the more logical thing to be. But people care about visuals to the point where they'll sacrifice a functioning game for a good looking game.
Right.
Now, for me, I'm the opposite. I want like a functioning game more than a good looking game.
Emmy
Also,
said, "I
because
love DK Odyssey." That's crazy.
art style can carry a game more than than high definition.
Well, yeah.
And also, I'm gonna be real with you. People gotta realize this is our first Nintendo console that has 4K games. I want y'all to understand that.
I remember Smash Brothers actually tried this. So Smash Brothers Brawl wanted to shoot for a more realistic look, but it looked ugly. The colors were like dull. Mario's wearing like real denim and shit. It looked awful.
It wasn't. It was. I won't say it looked awful. It was just different. I don't think it was.
And
awful,
but then Smash 4 came around and just they focused on primary colors mostly, and it popped and it looked way better. Way better. They're like, we're not doing that realistic.
Smash 4 is a better looking game.
We're not doing that realistic bullshit anymore. We're focusing on primary colors of characters. We're going back to basics. When they did that, it looked immaculate. It looked great. And then Ultimate just sort of doubled down on that. But yeah, like that was fun. I think to me, people are wanting it to be so realistic when they're like teens, when they're like, ugh, the cartoony stuff is for children. Yeah, it's cringe. But then by the time they grow up, they're like, I missed all the cartoony ones. Like, of course you do. That's why we had that one instance where a bunch of indie games were in fucking 16-bit. Like Shovel Knight. Like, there's a reason Shovel Knight wasn't in fucking hyper-realistic Unreal Engine or some shit.
Right.
And I don't know, it just annoys me because everybody believes that, oh, if it looks better, then that automatically makes it better. And I'm just like, no.
Also, Revolver, what's the favor you want, by the way?
What'd he say? What did Revolver
Also,
say?
Revolver, what's the favor you want me to do for you? Also, welcome, Tronic.
Yeah.
But yeah, fucking. I mean, I completely agree. I mean, like I said, quality aesthetics will make up for like less than stellar graphics. That's how I feel about it. Well, it just depends on how you wanna make your game.
But based on the pattern here, Terrell, let me ask this: do you believe that Nintendo is going to start straying away from that and start sticking more with PlayStation and Xbox's philosophy? Where like,
but in terms of aesthetics,
yeah, like, oh, are they just gonna shoot for more of the looking better rather than being better games?
No, Nintendo's bread and butter is aesthetics.
Okay.
I say this after that shitty wheelchair game, but we don't talk about that game, okay?
Well, no, I mean, like, are they going to care more about graphics rather than the actual game itself?
No.
Okay.
Never. I would genuinely be surprised if that is the direction they end up going, personally.
Yeah, definitely.
I personally believe they will focus more so on gameplay over graphics, unless they think it like lends itself to it. Like, for example, with Donkey Kong, it's obvious that they wanted this, like, the damage that DK can do to things to be a big part of the game. Hence why they did that whole thing where, fun fact for those who haven't seen the footage that you're seeing on screen on my stream right now, if you take a look at the map during the DK gameplay and you just and you look at it, it'll actually show all the damage you've been doing to the entire world.
Oh, wow, that's crazy. You probably get a reward for that then.
I don't know if you get a reward for it, but you definitely get like stuff for it. And I also want to acknowledge that like Nintendo tried to take some like, for example, the voice chat thing being on the console now, but they also apparently I haven't looked to see, but supposedly they're adding essentially achievements to the phone app.
Ah, they're shooting for that.
So like
They're shooting for that now?
Well, I think technically even what was it? Mario and Luigi has it in it, kind of. They're like they're just called challenges.
Right.
But it's the same general premise of like you do certain things and then you get like a, hey, you did this challenge, congratulations. So I like that stuff. I guess the other thing we can talk about, before I kind of address the console, how do we feel about? I guess we could address the delay situation.
Oh my god. I was so ready to get my copy, to pre-order my copy.
Oh, did someone give you a donation to have enough then? Because I thought you weren't going to get it.
I think I'm gonna get it, but let me bitch about it the whole time, okay?
All right, go ahead, go ahead.
I said it was the Bob's Burgers thing. Okay, I'm going, but I'm gonna complain the entire way. But yeah, I was going to go pre-order it, and I was like, cool. Right after I get off work, I'm gonna pre-order, and they're like, oh, it's going to the 9th, and I'm like, cool, the 9th. I can wait till the 9th. That's like 5 days from now. Now it's you can pre-order it whenever the hell. And I think the reason I'm paranoid about this is because I'm very much aware of how people are getting now. It's not as simple as you can just pre-order something or buy something. I know that the day that the pre-order is going to be released, there's going to be an army of people like ahead of me trying to do it. And now I gotta beat the clock because people don't know how to be civilized anymore. If it's anything like the fucking Pokemon card situation, it's gonna be a race against the clock in order to fight people. Yeah, it's gonna be a fight against everybody. I'm gonna have to fight some grown ass men to get my fucking video game console. Yeah, so Emmy said she's gonna be tackling people at Costco's.
I already knew how Emmy was gonna be.
Yeah.
Emmy was gonna put the rest of society to sleep with her voice.
Yeah.
And then she was gonna bake in some sleeping pills and some free cookies and give them out.
Oh, that's crazy.
I already know what was up. Okay, she thinks she's slick. She think I don't know.
She's trying to soothe the savage beast.
So I guess to give context of what's happened is that essentially Nintendo has announced that at least only for the US specifically. So I think technically, Emmy, you should still be able to pre-order it on the 9th. Yeah,
Emmy can still pre-order it on the 9th.
Even if that's up to her, obviously. That's money a thing. But like, apparently for the US only, our pre-orders have been delayed due to tariffs, which is a little concerning because what that means is that the price we have now is not tariff price. It's just Nintendo pricing.
Yeah, it's subject to change.
There's a chance that this console could go up to like $500 or $600 depending on what happens. We don't know. I'm just saying that could be a thing.
I say go ahead and pre-order it. That way you at least lock it in. Pre-order it so you can lock it in. And then at least you're guaranteed one. Because you don't want the situation to come where you end up getting enough for it and you can't even buy it because it's sold out.
No, I understand. I guess the question just will remain as, hey, what do you like? How much do you want this console day one?
Right. And for me,
that's what it's gonna amount to. How much do you want this console day one?
For me, since I'm streaming, I know having it day one is the most convenient for content creation purposes.
Well, if it's in June, I'm more inclined because in June I have free fucking time.
Yeah, same. Well, sort of same here. I got to do summer school program, but in July I'll be all set.
Well, same. Like I still gotta work, but it's just not. I'm not as busy as I normally would be.
Yeah, same.
So I guess is probably one of the more important questions. Do you plan to pre-order the console, which I think we both said we're going to?
I'm pre-ordering the Mario Kart bundle.
Oh, absolutely. So the question for y'all in the chat is, are y'all planning to pre-order?
Are you going to pre-order? I know Android. I think Android and Acorn are under the same bucket that I'm in, where it's like, we're doing it. We're just going to bitch about it the whole way through.
I think that's most people right now.
Tronic said, hell no. Tronic's not a Nintendo fan, though. Tronic's not a giant Nintendo fan.
Well, no, Tronic also already bought he just bought a new graphics card not too long ago, so it doesn't really make sense for him to be playing anything.
So, and Tronic realistically doesn't need to.
Let's see.
Ed unleashing the pebbles in his shoe, and number 3 unleashing.
Okay, alternative movement. You are. Daryl said he is. Apex is.
Yeah, are you guys done?
Donnie. Oh, Donnie, you're pre-ordering? I thought you were gonna save money, man.
Yeah, and Troy said exactly like yeah, like
Goki said if I can't pre-order, I will. Mel's gonna wait.
All right.
I think the Pokemon game.
And we want to clarify here, just because we're doing it, there's no crime against waiting, especially knowing the Switch 2. They'll probably come out with a Switch 2 fucking mini or whatever, Switch 2 Lite or some crap. And
yeah, but you're not gonna get that for a couple of years. All people know that.
Yeah, yeah. And then some people.
That's not gonna be like a first year thing. That's gonna be like a couple years thing. Because why would you come out with the Switch 2 if you were just gonna make a Lite in the same year?
Acorn said this will be my first ever pre-order because I got the regular Switch as a surprise. Nice. Okay. Yeah. I think
Blade says not, but Xbox is my main platform, so I'm in no hurry for a Switch.
Right.
I mean yeah, but you're also not playing games, King of Blade. No, I'm just playing.
Damn.
Let me chill. Say money for what? Most of the games I want will run better on it. Okay, all right, GG's down here.
That's
right,
crazy.
Air says he's waiting. Orion's gonna wait. That's fair.
Are you getting
like I said? Listen, we are all functioning adults and have different things we want to do. I'm a dirty whore, and I have credit cards that I don't need to use.
Listen, for me, like I said, I don't like the date. If literally this was in October, I would have nothing to bitch about.
Also, Orion, Switch 2 is region free. It's not region locked. You know that, right?
Yeah, it's region free.
The only
Japanese version is region locked.
There's only and that's only one version of it.
Yeah, but if you bought it in like say Europe, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, like you're not locked in on a region.
So now you go to Latin America and buy it for the peso.
Oh my god!
Go to Latin America, go to Mexico, buy the Mexican version. And buy it for the peso. We do it for the peso.
That's crazy. We do it for the pesos.
We do it for the pesos.
I guess the last thing we probably should talk about.
So what you're saying is go on an adventure. What you want me to do is get an airplane ticket, fly all the way to another country, and buy a cheaper version of a game.
I guess what you could. I guess at the end of it all.
Yeah.
I guess the last thing we probably should address is I think Mario Kart itself, because we haven't really talked about Mario Kart.
Mario Kart Wild. Oh, let me change the footage.
Yeah, same. I've been playing Metroid footage in the background. The mouse control setup is not bad at all. It's like one controller is just walking around, and then the other controller is it's the mouse. So that's kind of cool to me.
That actually makes a lot of sense for Metroid. Honestly, I think Metroid should have been did that.
Well, I mean, that's why people like the Wii version a lot.
But to me, I think I'm standing on this, and it's a weird stance. Kid Icarus should make another game.
I mean, I just want Kid Icarus in general, so I'm not even disagreeing with that one.
I'm saying Kid Icarus should make one because now we have that little mouse thing, and I'm like, remember the last time Kid Icarus Uprising came out? We had that 3DS stand thing, and that was kind of weird.
So I'm trying to see which one they have.
Why is Bob Ross out here? I know he's not Bob Ross. He just looks
everyone
like
has made that joke. Yeah. Everybody's made that joke. I hate all of you.
He looks like Bob Ross. What do you want from me?
I want you not to make the same joke as everybody else.
I didn't know. Also, I love that Daisy pose she's doing on the character select screen.
I'm changing it now. Hold on.
I'm paranoid about pre-ordering it because last GameStop got flooded and destroyed. Yep.
Flood them anyway. Flood them again.
So what you need to do, Acorn.
I'll give them like custom animations for the character select screen. That's surprising.
Yeah, that's cool. Acorn, what you need to do is either A, go to GameStop early, or B, head on over to Best Buy. Because people go to GameStop first. They don't go to Best Buy. And you're allowed to pre-order it at Best Buy.
Why they got Mario out here jigging, dog? What is this?
He getting it, though. He got that. Oh, no. Hey, look at Luigi.
Actually, weirdly enough, Waluigi's animation's also doing that. Where he snaps his fingers.
Well, no, that's why I said Waluigi.
Hey man, saying if you need to
Dun,
save
dun,
some money, save your money. What's the maximum amount you guys will be willing to pay for a game that you want? 80 is my max, and the game would be Kingdom Hearts
Oh, the
4.
hurricane. Sorry, Acorn.
Oh, you talking about Helen,
Yeah,
Acorn?
Helen. It was Helen. Yeah,
Oh
Helen.
man, we still dealing with the aftermath of Helen over here.
Yeah.
Um, King of Blades asks, what is the maximum amount you would be willing to pay for a game that you want? His example is he would be 80 is his max and it would be for Kingdom Hearts 4.
Tronic said, I hope y'all trading in y'all Switch ones when y'all doing this. That's crazy.
Man.
I mean, honestly,
I'm debating it.
you should, honestly though, think about it for like a second. Realistically, yeah. There's nothing that the Switch 2 can do that, Switch 1 can do that the Switch 2 can't. So, by some level of logic, I'm not gonna do it because I'm a fucking hoarder. But,
what the hell did you drop? What the fuck was that?
I was holding a Pokeball. But,
I thought it was a golf ball.
Yeah, no, it was Pokeball. Anyway,
Jesus
I'm not gonna
Christ.
do it because I'm a fucking hoarder. But, but realistically,
God,
yeah.
these maps are ridiculous.
They are. They look nice though. I like that Mario does
Well, they're like,
before.
well, I'm trying to think. So there's different modes, and this is the Grand Prix version.
Azor said Switch 2 can't play Ring Fit because it has no iRing camera. I'm pretty sure that they do have a Switch 2 camera though now, don't they?
No, there's an
iRing
IR camera.
Oh,
it may not be. I thought it was because the Ring Fit, because the Joy-Cons are bigger, so you can't you can't fit it in the ring anymore. I thought that was the reason.
Oh.
The most I would be willing to spend for a game maybe is 100, probably.
Nope.
And the game in question,
once it reaches those 3 digits, nope.
And a game in question, and I've thought about this before.
What?
The game would be this Mario Sonic crossover title that is a 30-hour platforming game between the two gameplay styles of Mario and Sonic.
Oh, you're talking about a dream game. Okay, got it.
Well, he said how much, he said the most you'd be willing to spend on a video game. I think 100 would be it. And the game that would make me spend is it would have to be some immaculate, like something immaculate. Like something, it would, to me, to make me spend that much money, it would have to be immaculate and have to make me want to play that game over and over again.
I say that, but I've spent 100. I've spent 120 on deluxe versions before. So
but I'm thinking just the base game when I say what I'm saying.
I think Catherine Full Body. Full Body cost me like 100.
Also, Donnie said no. Switch 2 has a mouse sensor. The Joy-Cons on Switch 2 have no IR camera. Oh, really? Okay.
Okay. Yeah,
No, I'm talking about like I was thinking in the main game, Orion. It would have to be like a dream game. One of my dream games would be a Mario and Sonic crossover title. That would be.
They're already coming out with one of my dream games, and only a competitive exclusive Pokemon game.
Well, you have seen the footage of that before.
That already exists, so I just need to see gameplay.
Well, so what's the most you would be willing to spend on a game then?
I guess 90. It's got to be a really good game.
Well, of course. That's why. Jesus Christ! Some of these animations
I didn't get to see what the feather power up did because they got shocked before they got to use it.
Oh yeah. Oh, you're right. Are they driving on like the Grand Canyon looking level?
Yeah.
Yeah, watching the same footage.
Nice. Well, did we sync up on accident?
It was pretty close.
Okay, well, Mario just finished.
Because Mario just got shot. Yeah, you're a little bit ahead of me.
Okay, I'm a little bit. Yeah. That's crazy.
I love the way he's animated.
Yeah,
I love the animations have been absurd.
You could definitely tell a lot of love was put into this.
Oh yeah, the rain effects look really good too, Goki. You're right.
Yeah, you can tell a lot of love was put into this.
I am very curious.
I can't shake it, but it kind of reminds me of an old school Mario Kart game. I don't know.
In what way?
I don't know. Just the way the characters look, the way the world kind of like, I don't know. It just reminds me of an old one. Reminds me of an old Mario Kart game. I think it's just because they're not using the the models we've been used to. They're using. It looks like they're going retro kind of with these characters. Mario's like kind of chubby.
Oh, I see what they meant by saying the second race.
Yeah, Mario's
the second race is like when you finish a race, you're just going to the next track.
Yeah, you're moving on to another. Yeah, well, it's like an Act 1, Act 2 situation then.
Yeah, but like there's no like you're actually driving to the race as a part of the race.
Yeah.
Because like right now, are they on like the highway?
Yeah.
Yeah. This isn't the track.
This isn't the race. This is them getting to the race.
Exactly. Because the next stage is like a completely different stage. I'd be curious. It's crazy how older games are clocking over $150 now. Oh, no, so that's just retro gaming has gotten a lot more popular over the years.
Right, so more people are gonna invest in it. Yeah.
Oh wait, never mind. This is the race. What?
Oh, okay. So for me, what was I saying? To go back on when you asked how so, I don't know. Mario's design looks more retro this time around. He looks like he looks a little portly again, like he used to be. The colors feel a little bit darker. Yeah, I can't explain it. It just feels old. It feels like they're older versions.
Also,
they look kind of like how they were drawn back in like the on the NES covers and the GBA and stuff. They look like they're old.
Oh, like the box art?
Yeah, like their old box art. Yeah, that's what it was. That's what I was thinking of. They kind of look like their box arts now instead of looking like 3D models.
It's weird that this game feels as open as it is. Like I'm just fucking like we went from it's like literally it's almost like for me, for example, it's like me going to Atlanta.
Yeah, and just driving.
Yeah, just driving. Just
Can
fucking driving.
Can you please use the damn feather power up? I want to know what it does.
Yeah, is he holding it on your screen?
Yeah, and he's not using it. I need him to use it. I want to know what it does.
It's those solar panels? What the fuck are you riding on?
I got to get my thing for a workout. Yeah, they're like, it does look like solar panels.
Also, driving to the race is in now. I'll use it as okay. So real quick, the rival mechanic. I thought the rival mechanic already existed in the other games. It was like an unofficial mechanic.
Yeah,
that's probably the reason why. Part of the reason what made me think that was because of the Dashie. If anyone's seen Dashie's videos on Mario Kart,
right?
Some of the shit he would do makes me think that he was always a part of the rival mechanic, but I could be wrong.
So he used the feather power, but I still don't know what it actually did. I think it allowed him to flip.
What the fuck was that?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it did.
He got hit. He also got hit and like flipped over. Wow, I keep forgetting they gave this man such a crazy animation design.
I think I'm gonna just have to do it myself. That's the only way I'm gonna figure that out.
Oh, well, you only got 2 months,
right?
To wait for it.
They're being very stingy about using it, and I'm just like, I don't know what it does.
I think that's intentional because if you weren't, then
then you'd be spoiled, I guess. But I want to know what it does. It says third race, so are they in a new place now? It looks kind of new.
Yeah,
and it's very much a transition.
All right, so Daryl explained it. The racing to the next race is a knockout mode feature.
And if you don't make it, then you can't move on to the next.
Yeah, exactly. That's the knockout mode.
Got it. Okay. All right. Oh, the cheeseburger. We go the cheeseburger power up.
I thought this was just to change their outfits.
Oh, that's all it does? It doesn't have any like.
Well, at least in the gameplay footage. Wait, well, never mind. Now I'm confused.
Mario's using it. I don't know what it did.
Is he?
It did change his outfit. I'm not sure what.
Oh, because different outfits give different effects.
Oh, I didn't know that. So
what is it? I remember him saying.
But what's the effect?
I mean, wait a minute, did DK knock away that shell? I'm so confused. Mm-hmm. I don't know what the.
We got to learn all these things when we play the game, I guess. But
yeah, it's like a bunch of lore. I mean, I imagine someone on Twitter has been analyzing the footage like crazy.
Yeah, I'm sure that we can find some like Game Explains thing.
Yeah, the Game Explain probably has a video out or is in the process of making videos.
Right.
I know the cheeseburger changed the costume, Mel, but I thought the outfits actually have different effects. They have different stats. Right. Okay, but Well, how would you know that mid-race though? Also, you don't know which
I guess
outfit you're getting.
but that's kind of the surprise of Mario Kart. It's like,
Well, you know what? Never mind. You're doing Grand Prix. You're unlocking these outfits because you notice there was like a red marker when he unlocked the outfit.
right.
And then I guess that means going into other Grand Prix races, you can like.
Oh, look at those stunts.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
The grinding on rails thing is very appealing to me.
Yeah. It's nice.
And then from what I've seen, you can chain it to get onto a wall run.
Yeah, you can parkour. That's cool. I do like
which
that.
is an interesting take for that.
I do like the parkour feature. That's kind of
Nessa's
cool.
tripping out. Nessa's spazzing because they're not using the feather.
Exactly. See, Nessa's on the same level I'm on right now. She on the same energy.
Well, I'm curious as well. Like at this point,
exactly. Like yeah, she on the same energy I'm on right now. Like use the damn thing. You got it.
How do you feel about the fact that you no longer have to pick cart parts?
I don't mind that. I never minded that. Whenever I know that they all have stats and stuff, but in my brain I picked them for aesthetics. I was like, what looks cool?
I think that's probably the reason why they. Jesus Christ, the grinding is ridiculous here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Better than Sonic's.
Don't do that. That's rude.
I mean,
damn, some of these fucking turns are ridiculous.
Wait, so they move on the gravity gimmick? Is what somebody asked?
I don't think we have the gravity gimmick anymore.
Yeah, I don't think we have that anymore.
Well, not officially.
Mario tilting this car is wild right now.
You said what?
He's tilting the car right now. Just tilting.
Yeah, he's like driving on the side and shit.
He's like, yeah. He's driving on the left wheel.
Nessa's crashing out.
No, it's justifiable because he didn't use that fucking feather power up.
I mean, you're right. I'm just curious. Are they doing a Mario Kart Direct next week? Not next week. Is the week after next. It's the 17th, which is like almost 2 weeks from now. Like it's like 13 days. So yeah, we still got time, ladies and gentlemen. Also, these tracks are. What is this track?
It's like the
I just look. No. Look at the map on the right hand side of the thing.
Oh.
That is such a wild design for a track.
Oh, like it's very straight, and then once you get to the end, it turns into a zigzaggy mess.
I'm imagining this has got to be one of those like you gotta like there's halfway through it you hit the first leg of the race,
right?
And then the second half you hit the second leg. Like it's not like you loop it. You don't loop it.
I'm loving the flips that the characters are doing.
Dude, the fact that they kept the boom sound. Did you see the boom icon come up when he got hit with the bomb?
Yes.
That is a very nice effect.
I think, that's what I think is like, that's why it's reminding me of like an old.
It's like comic book.
Yeah, that's what it's got a retro taste to it is what I'm trying to say. Doesn't it feel like it's kind of retro? Like, I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Like, yeah. Like,
Omar, you are right. There is a feather. There is a feather in the battle mode. Like it's in the battle mode. If you use the feather, it lets you like hover in the air for a quick second. Although I don't know why you would put that. Oh, you know what? If you put it here, that means if someone throws a shell at you, you could hover for a second and avoid the shell.
That's probably what it does. Like you ever look at those instruction booklets back in the day, and you see Mario on those, and you see how he's drawn. That's like this. It feels like this. Yeah.
So like comic booky.
Yeah, he looked very like his old.
I feel like there's another way to say it, but that's what it just feels like.
Yeah, it's his old school like heavy inked art style.
He's been kind of going in a direction since Wonder. It feels like because Wonder kind of has a very stylish.
Yeah,
look in that direction.
It almost looks like he looks younger for some reason.
Yes. I think because it kind of lends itself to that. Oh, you can grind on the edge of this bridge.
Nice.
I think my main question is, does this apply to...
I didn't even pay attention to the fact that this whole fucking racetrack changed.
It's going to be one of those experiences, I promise you. Like, you're going to be... It's so open, I think is what's fucking me up. Even these tracks are wider. Like, notice that.
I will say, though, one thing that's concerning me, and this is probably just because it's just the start, I don't see any shortcuts.
I mean, for this particular part of the race, it couldn't be because this is one of those like
Yeah, but I didn't see
the
any for
whole.
any of the others. And I don't think it can be because it's such wide open space. Back then,
I,
shortcuts were useful because it was such tight spaces that some routes led to smaller spaces.
oh,
Okay.
actually nailed the art style better. It's Mario versus Donkey Kong.
It's Mario vs. Donkey.
That does sound more familiar because I've seen the original Mario vs. Donkey Kong was very like this art style.
Stylistic, yeah. Resorting to, it's almost like it's resorting to using Chibi Mario again.
Wait, is this just an 8 out of 8? What?
Oh, did Mario just get struck by lightning? Yeah.
Yes, the animations for that is ridiculous. By the way,
Oh, look at the robot DK. Oh, that's probably why Nessa said the Mario vs. Donkey Kong, because this looks like it takes place in that.
yeah, that's an interesting.
I will say visually, this level looks the best out of all the ones I've seen.
I think I'm just. Good God, I'm just. It's so big. Like I just need to.
So you think this is gonna be Sonic Racing transformed?
You mean no? Isn't it Crossworlds or something?
Crossworlds, whatever the fuck it's called.
I need to look at more footage of that. I haven't seen a lot of footage of that. Did you know they already announced Sonic and Shadow Generations for Switch 2?
No, I don't care.
Well, yeah, because you already own and play the game.
Right now, we don't care. We don't care.
No, you're doing it wrong. Be like, "Da-na-na. We do not care.
We do not care.
We do not care." But no, it looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'll pause it right there. All right,
I would
so
love, but I think is there anything else we need to address?
I think we've hit most of it. I mean, like, it's. I think what it is, guys. It seems rough right now, but I guarantee after we've gotten it and games are coming out, I think it'll iron itself out. Now, I think we're just this way because we're starting to reach we're adults now, and two, we're starting to reach that level where we're noticing the game change. Where back in the day, prices were subtly going like they were
Yeah, think
going
about
up,
even
but it was
even
like a
back
subtle
in
situation. It was smooth.
even back in 2017, which was what not 8 years ago.
Yeah,
I was like 25 years old.
yeah.
25, 20 no 26. I was 25 at the time, but I was turning 26. We were just in a different. It's just a different time, different mindset. This is ironic enough. This is probably how my uncles felt when like
Yeah.
I got the Wii and they were in their 40s.
Yeah, games are starting to shoot up, but realistically, technically that always would have been the case. I think now we're just noticing it a little bit harder now because it's a blatant.
Also, I think America specifically,
it's a blatant number jump.
we don't deal with it as much.
Yeah, we don't.
A lot of the other countries do. This is the free roam they're doing.
Oh, I paused it, so I didn't even go for it. I thought we were ending it.
I mean, we are, but I still was looking at the footage. I was still engaged, Tyrone. This is how you probably can look up shortcuts, by the way.
Yeah.
But no, no. In all seriousness, though, we were younger. It was a different time, so our sensibilities has changed, and now kids our age are getting excited for it because ooh, new Mario Kart. Like if I was fucking 12 and I saw this, I'd be screaming.
Yeah.
Look at the cactuses. Look at the particle physics. Look at Mario do a jump when his animation. Like it's the small things that get you hyped. It's just a cool. Yeah, this free roam shit looks cool as fuck. This is actually. Oh, sorry. I'm geeking out, Loki.
Amy said the cow.
I just like that he's literally just roaming the track. I can't even tell if he's still in the same area or not.
It looks fun. I do wish there was a little bit more for you to do while you're doing the free roam thing, but I get it. Like the joy is just being able to do it, I guess. But
I'm curious if they would give.
I wish they would do like little mini games while you were doing this.
Well, I'm hoping that when we get the Mario Kart Direct, we'll get more information on what you do.
Yeah, or like some nice little hubs. Or you could buy like exclusive wheels and customization like items and stuff for it. Like that.
I think they got rid of the custom. I honestly think the reason why they got rid of the parts is literally because people care more about the aesthetic than they did about being like, hey, now you're just people care more about aesthetics than they did about the stats. So tying the
Right.
stats to outfits, I think, is more appealing for some people.
Right.
But it depends on the individual. But anyways, we're rambling. We
Yeah.
apologize. But with all that being said, tomorrow I will be streaming more Mario and Luigi. My spring break vacation has officially started, so I'm pretty free going into this next week. So don't be surprised if you get either A, longer streams, or B, random streams.
Nice.
So keep that in mind, at least for me. But yeah,
Nice.
Mario and Luigi tomorrow night. Tyrone, is there anything you need to plug or talk about?
I'll be joining Terrell for Mario Luigi tomorrow, and then on Sunday I'll be doing Visions of Mana. So that'll be the big thing. And then Monday is gonna be looking good for Marvel Rivals because we just got new new character. Yeah.
Oh wow, that was a crazy statement.
I mean, that's what she is. Let's not
Fine, whatever.
ourselves. That's what
With that,
she is.
with that being said, thank you guys for watching. Thank you guys for the support. Hope you guys are looking forward to new games, new footage, more conversations. We in an interesting time. We're at the end of a school year for a lot of you guys who may or may not be in school, and you got a new console on the horizon. So look forward to it, I guess. With that being said, life is indeed a game. Play to win, and I will catch you guys later. Peace.
All right, see you everybody. Tyrone TG3 out.